want to talk to you guys about the 4 first people you should hire to grow your business, your music business. And I'm probably going to come up with a bunch more, but these are the first 4 I think are most important. I'm in my little putt-putt vehicle today. It's snowing, just got back from California, but it's good to be back with you guys. So sorry for the delay with the vids. But the first person that I hired that made a huge difference in getting my time back and something that I shouldn't have been doing, but I had to keep the business moving. And as you as an entrepreneur, man, you got to wear all the hats for a while. All right, but then you want to delegate the jobs that can bring you back the most income. And so the very first one that I delegated was a booking agent. And the booking agent made me more money than anything else. They took like 15-20% commission, and they're getting me $1,000+ $5,000, $2,000, $1,500, depending on where I was at my career at the time. But that freed me up so much because I was just sending out like 50 emails a day. I was booking the shows, booking the flights, just so much stuff, right? Like just handling it all. And it's very time consuming. And a booking agent had more relationships. They were able to focus on it at once. They had a big list. So if we're going to a certain city, if we're going to be in Seattle or wherever, they could email their targeted list that was just of Washington and try and fill in a date. If it was Texas, they would try and fill in that date and just target a certain list or reach out to new people. And it allowed me to do what I do best, which is write songs and perform songs, because I can only do that, okay? I can't delegate me performing the songs, all right, unless I make a music video, okay? Number 2, which really helped a lot, and this is in the live show thing. I'm going to talk about other stuff that's not to do with live shows, but I had somebody who would what is it called, like do the shows for me, like do the tour managing and prepare the show, get the flights booked, let the guys know, get the hotels organized, all that stuff. I can't remember the name of the job right now. It's forgetting my mind. But that person kind of just handled all the logistics and everything for the show, because I didn't want to be handling that. Again, it was a nightmare. It's kind of like a tour manager role, and they would handle all the logistics, okay? And again, that's a job that I can pay someone a much smaller fee so that I can work on my main tasks, all right? The third thing you should hire out, and this is for your music business, is you want a bookkeeper, okay? You shouldn't be doing your own bookkeeping. I shouldn't be doing my own bookkeeping. That should be hired out for someone $10, $15 an hour. You don't need some crazy elaborate bookkeeper, but man, when I got smacked in the face so hard when I first left high school, college, and I started my own business and got my first job, and I didn't realize I was a contractor. I was technically in business for myself. I didn't even have a corporation yet, but I didn't keep all my expenses. And so we got smashed with the tax bill, or I got smashed with the tax bill, and didn't realize I could have been writing off all these things. So start today by keeping every single receipt. If you are in music, your whole life is almost a write-off, whether you're eating out, whether you're driving your car, writing songs. Like, inspiration hits everywhere. Definitely entertainment, your phone, and of course check with a CPA, but man, get a bookkeeper. You shouldn't be doing all that, and let them, they're so much better at that, and they have the tools, the templates, all that stuff, so you don't have to think about it, okay? The fourth thing, and maybe I'll do another one of these afterwards, but was getting somebody else to ship merch for me. Okay, that was a big one. Like, that was a huge one. This is way before we even had print on demand, but like on tour, at home, I was always shipping all the packages and getting the sizes, and it was fun for a while, and it's cool, people ordering your stuff. But again, you want to delegate that out. What are you doing going to the post office, bro? What are you doing going to the post office, girl? Your time is much better spent on something else, on a much higher level activity. Reaching out to a music supervisor, or even booking a show would be worth more than you going to the post office. So you really want to start eliminating and delegating these smaller tasks that you can get someone to do for almost nothing. And I really encourage you to use print on demand. We use Printful. I'll make sure I put a link below this, but that's what we use for our print on demand. There's another one called Printify. I think there's Teespring. There's all kinds of different print-on-demand companies, but that really frees up your time, man. And there's tons of different fulfillment houses if like you want to ship your CDs and your vinyl there all to a place, and so then and then you connect that to your store, and so when an order comes, that just gets shipped out and you don't even have to think about it, right? Or then if you want to send something to someone at like radio, or you want to send a gift to someone or something like that, or a fan, you can just email your warehouse, say, hey, can you ship this to that person? And then they mail it out for you, and they just bill you and charge you every month for everything that you shipped out. That's what we do. And it's so free, man. It's so free. But do we have a tiny little bit of stock still at the house from touring back in the day? Yeah. I'm just going to ship the rest of that all out to the warehouse. I don't want that because I'm not doing shows anymore. And, but like touring was probably one of the most, lucrative things for a band. It all depends where you are and how you started as an artist. If you're a songwriter and crushing it on TV, film, and, placements and all that stuff, you'll probably say that songwriting is probably the most lucrative. So it really depends on how you got started in this game. A lot of people get started as songwriters. I got started as a performing artist. That's how I got started, and getting paid for shows. And, we went from $150 a show to $1,500 to a show to $5K to $10K. You know what I mean? Like, it was all growing and selling tickets and all that stuff. But those would be 4 hires I would definitely make. Obviously, other things that you want to delegate right out is graphic design. And of course, this video is sponsored by VisionCityArt.com. We put together design packages for artists, for your merch, your single covers, your banners, all that stuff. Get someone else to handle that for you. You should not be doing that. Get your YouTube thumbnails, all that stuff, so that you don't even have to think about it, because you shouldn't. And you want it looking awesome. I can't stress enough that fans don't hear you first, they see you first. And first impressions are everything. First impressions are such a big deal, whether they get turned off or not. And it was interesting, on our Fanbase University call the other night, we were talking about features and getting featured artists on your songs, because it's just such a quick way to grow and blow up your career by working with other bigger artists. Probably one of the best investments you can make in your career as well too. And they were asking how polished should the song be, like how rough of a demo should it sound when you're reaching out to an artist to be on your song. And I said it needs to be almost done, like even a rough, good solid mix. Like, you don't go send in like some really rough demo and ask a bigger artist to be on it and it doesn't sound good, especially if you don't have the relationship. Because there is even an artist that I had a relationship with, they're a little bigger than me, and we wanted to do a song together, and I sent him the idea and everything, and he kind of turned it down a little bit because he couldn't see where it was going. Or maybe he would have done it if we kept on pushing, but he wasn't very exciting. He was like, oh, okay, like I need to kind of hear where this is going. He didn't fully see it, and that was me and my producer's fault. We sent it to him too early. We hadn't finished fleshing out the idea and really getting it dialed in. You know what I'm saying? And so you want to make sure that song's polished before you send that to an artist, or otherwise they're going to be like, no, I don't want to be on that song. No, it doesn't sound good. And that's the same thing with like an A&R or manager booking it. Like anyone you want to work with, like you only get one chance at a first impression. And so even sending your newest song, if it's not a hit and you got an older song, you're better to send them the older song that's a hit. Like don't just send the newest one because it's new. And of course that depends who you're reaching out to or whatnot, but like you really want to make sure your stuff is sounding like money before you sending it out, because people don't get it. They don't have time to envision where that is. That's up to you and your producer to have, the vision to see where that song is going, to see the diamond in the rough and that the hit song that it could be. But that's not the job for working on an artist. Now that's different if you want to collaborate and write with someone, okay? Like especially someone who's a songwriter. Like for some of my friends that are songwriters and that's all they do is songwriting, and I'm like, hey, do you want to work on this song together as a songwriter, right? That's different because they're used to hearing the rough ideas right away. And heck, if I have like just one good top line or I have just a good melody and a song title, they'll be like, oh yeah, dude, let's turn this into gold, man. Like let's work on this. Let's develop on this. You know what I mean? That's different than saying, hey, I've got this song, I want you to be on it. You know, it's just a little bit of a different conversation, and it really depends, because a lot of artists, not a lot of artists, but it just depends, like, are don't even write all their own stuff, and they're not as much songwriters as they are, like, they write songs, but they really need other people to develop those songs and finish them, right? Where I'm an idea guy, and I'm also a songwriter. Do I always bring producers to finish them off? Yes, but I'm great at getting it pretty much done sometimes. Do I need help? Yes. But, not all artists are able to take a song to complete, have like a whole complete finished idea and really get the whole thing. So lots of good stuff there. Hey, again, this video is sponsored by VisionCityArt.com. Make sure you go to smartmusicbusiness.com for any coaching or whatnot. And we just want to keep seeing you win, man. Keep crushing it. Keep taking action.